Hi everyone, it's Jade from Sydney, helping you to find and land in that ideal career that you really want, that's aligned with your strengths, with who you are, and you're really fulfilling what you want in career as well. Today we're talking about a topic of how to deal with rejection. Now, it's a big topic because we have to deal with it at life, at work, at study anyways. So there are two groups of people that might be constantly or maybe exposed to rejections at work or in career. The first group, the biggest group, might be constantly bombarded with rejection is if you are actively looking for a job, then it's potentially that you can get rejected. And the second group is people who are actually looking for a way out in their career, or they wanted to get that promotion, or whenever they have a desire to ask for anything, for a specific task, for support, anything at work that you may have to deal with rejections. So now before we start, I just wanted to share something that you may already know this, but bear in mind, if you're watching this, you probably got rejected again. You're not alone, and it's very normal. It's just part of the process. You are allowed to feel bad. That's totally normal. And just do what you normally do when you feel bad to lift yourself up again. Even it's just feeling your feelings, or talking to people who support you, who can really listen to you, who can be there to make you a better person. Secondly, is I want to challenge yourself. When you're rejected, still ask yourself, what have you done well? What did you do well in that previous interview, or previous conversation or interaction that you had, although you were rejected? You were still very brave to make that move anyways. So yeah, just before that, do deal with your feelings. Don't suppress it. Don't push it down. You're allowed to feel that. It's very normal, and everyone feels that. I remember there was once I got a rejection with some weird, bizarre reason, saying that I have too much eye contact. Too much. Do you feel like I have too much eye contact? Probably, because I'm looking at the camera. But yeah, so first, let's look at what are the reasons that you're getting rejected. Now, there's a video that's relevant to this topic. I do urge you to have a look of it. It's how to assess your interview performances. So in there, I talked about chemistry. I talked about you should have a feeling anyways. How did you perform in that interview? For example, if you did really well answering a question, then the interviewer may be nodding their head. They might be smiling at you. They might be giving you verbal confirmations. On the other hand, if you didn't answer well, you should be able to sense that as well. They may ask some follow-up questions, 2 or 3, or keep asking until they draw down the final answer they are looking for that question. Or sometimes they may be shaking their head. They may be like, the facial expressions would be able to tell you, or sometimes they would verbally tell you as well. You should have a feeling. So those things would give you a clue of why you're being rejected anyways. But now I want you to pause all of this over analyzing thoughts anyways. Think about, put yourself out. Think about the general reasons that people are getting rejected at work, in company. What are the things? There might be some fundamental things like their basic job requirement. This applies to both job applicants, if you're a job seeker, if you're looking for a job, or people who are actually looking for that career promotion. So there might be fundamental things, be it the skill level, be it the knowledge, be it the familiar with the processes, the business processes, understanding the industry, having that general business sense, stuff like that, hardcore skills, knowing the software, knowing how to run everything, stuff like that. But there are also the softer side of things that it's very hard to articulate, or sometimes people choose not to tell you, but sometimes you can sense it. It could be personality. For example, in your team, maybe everyone is very straightforward, but you explain things too much, or it takes a very long time for you to digest things. That kind of thing, it could be the reason, and they could choose not to tell you the truth anyways. Apart from that, what are the possible reasons that you got rejected? Have you thought about it? Do think about it now that I'm asking. What are they be? There are things that's even out of control of their hand. It could be because of the economy. It could be the company doesn't have enough budget to promote you. They don't have enough budget to hire you at the level that you want. Maybe there's no headcount suddenly for that being. Last year I experienced this. Somebody, there was a recruitment consultant approached me to work at a university as a career consultant. They come back to me saying that they actually don't have that headcount or money anymore. Sometimes they may tell you, sometimes they don't. Or there could be other pressure on your managers, their priorities, or they don't even have that authority or agreement or consent from their co-workers, from people who are also in the recruitment processes or your promotion processes, their manager, other department managers, HR managers, and other stuff. And sometimes they have preferences that has nothing to do with your skills as well. They probably just prefer someone has a certain cultural background, and these sort of things they wouldn't be able to tell you if they come out. It will be very discriminative. So there are things like that. I'm sharing below a list of 20 reasons that people getting rejected. I'm sure you wouldn't fall into those categories. I mean, if you did, it's very easy to improve it anyways. Not be on time, not responsive, very rude, not capable for that job at all. Those sort of things, I'm sure I don't need to worry about that for you if you're watching this. There are other things that might be slightly hidden as a job seeker. One of them is you have a career gap, and that's not explained in your resume or your previous job title or the job capabilities, what you have done. It's not really matching what you're looking for on your resume, or some kind of career transition that just doesn't make sense, or they make them worried. They may have a concern about that, and that's not explained, or when they ask you a question, you can't really persuade them. So this sort of potential concerns that employer have, you should have already thought about it and try to combat it without them even asking. Try to persuade them or tell them the story that really persuade them. This is what you wanted to do, and you're really capable, and you're passionate. Thought about the potential concerns that an employer may have. And now it comes back to a little tip for me. Like I said, promised at the beginning, that you may turn a rejection into an opportunity. One of my clients actually recently experienced this. She was rejected for a job offer, a full-time job offer, 2 months ago. And then when she came to me, we went through what are the possible concerns the employer may have, and used some of the communication strategies. She went back and actually got the job offer again, the same very company who rejected them. So this is what I'm saying. So rejection might be an opportunity. So review what are the possible reasons. And when you ask feedback, sometimes you know it by heart why they rejected in a way. Sometimes you don't. Just genuinely ask feedback. And then from whatever they said, it's great opportunity to feedback what you think you did well in the interview, or really to enhance what you're really good at, or why you think you're a good fit, or what value you can bring to them, contribute to them for their company, for that role. It's another chance for you to really promote yourself in that opportunity. So do ask feedback. The second point, that when you're dealing with rejection, is just to know that it's always about them. It's not about you. Rejection from someone else, it's not about you. How do I mean by that? Very simple questions I want to ask you in your personal life, or in your life, personally, or at work, in life, in study. Why do you normally reject people, reject offer, reject events, or reject things? For example, if you're walking on the street, somebody approach you, they're trying to give you a flyer, or some people are trying to maybe do a survey with you, or trying to sell you something. Why do you reject them? It could be a lot of the common reason is you don't have time, you don't want to talk to them, you don't know them, you have somewhere else that's more important, or you want to rush to, you want to go to, or you just don't want to be sold. Or you just don't want to go through the process having to say no to them, so you just quickly run away. So have you noticed something common about that? When you make decision to reject someone, it's all about what you want. It's all about what you want to do the next step. It's never about them. You walked past them. Now, if I ask you to recall them, how do they look like? What are they wearing? What pen are they using? What bag are they using? You probably don't even remember, because you don't care. You care about yourself. So that applies to you as well. When a company rejects you, it's about what they want. It's not about you. They see it as not a match for them. then you just need to focus on what's important for you, what's the next step. And that brings me to the point that don't give up like it's normal, it's a process, but you need to focus on your career goal. You need to focus on, you're probably looking for a job, keep applying. Don't be bit down by just one rejection. Sometimes it's a numbers game. Maybe apply for 30 jobs, you will get one job, and the first 29 was just rejection. That is just the process of you finding out what's not a match for you. That is their process finding out they didn't find their ideal candidate anyways. But you need to focus on yourself. You need to keep applying that for the one job, and you just need one job anyways. You don't need like 10 job offer. Trust me, when you have too many offers and they each have their good and bad, it's so difficult to choose. So the second point, as I said, it's focus on yourself. It's when they reject you, it's about them, it's not about you. Don't take it personal. And the third point is trust their judgment and thank for their judgment. And you just need to narrow or redirect your research for your job search or for your career promotion for something that suits you more, or even reconsider what's the next step for your career path in that sense. How do I mean by that? Again, now imagine if when you went into interview, like I said, watch that previous video, if they already sent or made that decision, or sometimes it could be a bias, it's not fair, they're making a decision within a very short time. However, in life, there are situations we have to make a very quick judgment on you. In these situations, reasonable judgments, whether you are a good fit or not. If they already decided you are not a good fit, for example, you're overqualified, or for example, you're going to take a long time to learn their processes, you may not be the most efficient. If you just forcefully join that company, or imagine you still got in, and your supervisor, your direct manager are not happy with you, he already have a sort of a judgment or bias on you, what's going to happen? You're not going to be happy, both of you, because for these things to work, even for career promotion, for your long-term career progression as well, it has to be mutually beneficial, it has to be pleasant, it has to be both party willingly doing it, and it has to be something that both party agrees to it, right? So if they make that judgment thinking you're not a good fit, then trust their judgment and thank for their judgment. Thanking for them for not loving you, because it gives you the opportunity to really dive into and really look for and really step into something that suits you even better. Now it goes to the first point. If you think if you can already sense where their judgment is coming from, and you feel like it's a misjudgment, for example, they consider you can't really learn things fast enough, then use the first step, ask their feedback, and give them evidences, give them stories, and give them examples that you can do it. You are actually better than what they think, and see what they say. If they still think that, then there's nothing you can do, but if maybe you can persuade them. But if you can't really put your fingers on where the judgment is coming from, or you think it's a fair judgment, sometimes it could be, and then trust it and thank them for them. And really consider if they have that judgment that you're not really utilizing your strengths, or this particular role who requires someone who are really good at certain things but you're good at other things, then narrow your research, reconsider if this kind of job is really good for you. Because in the long term, if you're not utilizing what you're good at, if you have to struggle to do something you're not good at, which is the majority of the job, it doesn't suit you anyways. So it's a not good opportunity for you to reconsider and really target those jobs who needs people who have your unique blend of skills, who needs people who are really good at certain things that you're good at. Isn't that wonderful that you can get into that kind of job anyways? Alright, so sharing those 3 tips, knowing and understanding the reason they rejected you for things that you don't know or they choose not to tell you. Don't overanalyze it, let it be. Secondly, when people reject you, it's about them, it's not about you. And thirdly, thank them and trust them, and then keep your momentum, keep applying for job, and keep applying for the ones that's good for you, that's aligned with you, that's your career strengths. Now, a lot of the things I talked about today, it's actually in part of our VIP program, which I'm running towards the end of the year. I'm only taking 5 people in, one-on-one, each of them. We're also doing a workshop in Sydney to actually look at your personal career strategy. What's your next step and what can we do? How do we find out what you're good at? How do we make sure we package them and show them, present them, and then really persuade people so you can step into that career goal, be it a promotion, be it a career transition, or be it just really feeling fulfilled at your work. I'm really looking forward. If you want to find out if that's the right fit for you, do book a chat with me to find out if it's good for you. Otherwise, do leave a like, subscribe to our video, and I'll see you next video. Bye.